All right, we're warmed up, let's go. So I'm on my recovery run. Yesterday I completed a 7.3 mile run, which involved doing a 5-mile math test. You might have noticed the big yellow book, essentially the handbook of endurance racing. And there he theorizes that it is possible that if you train at your maximum aerobic function, which is the heart rate in which you can maximally run aerobically by using your oxygen, that you'll be able to improve over time and thus get faster. And so it's been the first time in a number of months in which I've done it, but essentially it involves running 5 miles at essentially 180 minus your age. Now, of course, his formula tweaks a little bit depending if you had injuries or if you've run for a long period of time. But essentially, my maximum heart rate is 151. So yesterday, I completed my 5-mile math test, in which about 8:18 in my first mile, and then completing my last mile, my 5th mile, with I believe it was with about an 8:42 time. And for those who haven't done a math test before, don't get discouraged. Every mile is not meant to be the same pace. It's common sense that over the accumulation of miles, that your body will start to fatigue. And so for you to maintain a certain pace, your body, your muscles, the oxygen required, your heart will have to work harder in order to compensate for that pace. With your training, once a month, you do a math test to see where your peak optimal levels are as far as your pace. Now, in a perfect world, you would do this test on a flat surface, such as the track. But if you're a person such as myself, who does not live near middle school or high school, or where a track can become available to you, then essentially the best you can do is to essentially create your own course, in which something that you can repeat mile by mile, so that way you can compare month in and month out. Yesterday's run was done on a different course than those I've done in the spring of this year. But at least by doing so, it allowed me to become more confident in my training, because the paces in which I was running them at my max 151 heart rate was done at faster paces, even with the hills involved, than those are what I was able to achieve from even when it was cooler back in February of 2020. Dr. Phil Maffetone's philosophies differ slightly from other ones that you might have seen, such as the 80-20 method, where 80% of your training is easy, and then 20% is done very, very hard. I'm currently training with a little bit of a hybrid between where my easy runs are easy, my hard runs are really hard, but then also making sure that your easy runs, warm-ups, cool downs, essentially everything except for a tempo interval or a straight up mile run, make sure you do everything under the maximum aerobic rate, or essentially the MAF, maximum aerobic function. I'm about 200 days to go until my next race, and so with me being able to pretty much average an 825 to 830 pace during my MAF test, and here being in Florida, as you can tell, it's really, really humid. I think it's about 74 degrees right now, high 90s, like 95, 97% humidity, that I feel pretty confident that whatever the race conditions will be in March of 2021, another PR, or for some of you who go by PB, personal best, that another one's in store for me. So I'm gonna leave you with that before the rains come in. And as always, I want you to dream big, continue putting in the work, and then whenever race day comes, go out and shoot for the impossible. Thanks, and take care.